I've been waiting to go live since like 4:30, so I've just been having fun with a swivel chair here. I don't know, you get an adult, you put them in a swivel chair, they just go, wee. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Facebook Live session with me. My name is Shai, and today we have our episode of Easy Rock plugged in, which means we have a special guest artist with us today. And today, of course, it's March 29, 2022. I'm just saying that because in case you'll be watching this at another day, just letting you know that it's no longer live if you check your calendar by that time. Anyway, so yeah, for today's artist, you know what? I've got my código. I've got my script right here. I just didn't have the time to print it out, so please forgive me. So I'll be referring to my phone for that. But anyway, let me just say that our artist for today is someone who has been writing a lot of beautiful, heartwarming songs about the articles she read about space, about timing, about love, and her personal experiences with the people around her. So please welcome on the virtual stage, hello, Tala Gil. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You are awesome. We've been waiting for this interview for a while. I've been told about this interview since last month, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, definitely really glad to have you here at the virtual stage. Of course, it would have been so much better if we were actually here together. Yeah. But you know, until then, this is good enough. So how have you been, Tala?
I've been good. Thank you again for asking. I've actually just been living my best life. I don't know. I'm trying my best to
hashtag Sana all.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
Carry on.
Mindset. Yeah. I've just been spending a lot of time doing the things I love, including writing, socializing safely, and all that jazz.
I love the term socializing safely because a lot of people are trying to no longer socialize or scared to socialize because of hashtag pandemic. But in your case, it's socializing. What's the word? Socializing safely. Hashtag socialize responsibly, guys.
Exactly.
Go my drink responsibly, my socialize responsibly as well. I know we're already at, sorry for the PSA, but I know that we're already at alert level 1, but it doesn't mean that we could just go about like COVID did not exist, right?
Agree.
Okay. At least we're on the same page with that, Tala. So yeah.
My twin.
I really wanted to ask you about your name though. Like, is that really your actual birth certificate name or is that your stage name?
It is my birth certificate name.
That is so awesome.
It was given to me.
That is awesome.
I know. I get asked this question so many times.
I could
imagine. I think it's funny because people think that I'm creative enough to come up with that name when the reality is I didn't even think of a stage name. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with my first name.
But it's really pretty. Wait.
Thank you.
My Filipino may be very, very rusty, but Tala is stars, right? I may be wrong.
Correct. You're right. Good job.
Before I make a fool of myself, guys, tama po, no? Okay, gotcha. So it stars like the little stuff I have here in my background. You know what? We actually really made this background just for you. That's right.
Oh my God.
This wasn't here yesterday or a couple of weeks ago. No, we just made it just for you.
How special. How special.
That's how special you are to us here on Easy Rock. Well, I'm glad I made you laugh. But I was wondering tuloy, there was a time, diba, the song of Sarah G, Tala, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Were you so bombarded with that song when it came out, when it became a big hit?
Yes, everywhere I went, honestly, for maybe a solid 2 weeks, every single time I would get coffee and the barista would ask for my name, they would dance it. And I'm like, yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's not the first I've heard that, but okay, just give me a cup of coffee.
I swear, if I had $1,
all right, you wouldn't need us here on Easy Rock anymore. You probably won't be talking to us.
No.
But that's so cool. Again, props to your parents for giving you such a cool name. It got me wondering tuloy, how about your siblings? If you have siblings, do they have similar unique names?
Yes, they do. I have one older sister. Her name's Una, so she's the first. So when my parents had us, they wanted us to have very Filipino names, just so we can remember our roots, and no matter what happens, we'll always be Filipino. And until now, it's something that I really carry with me. So I love my name. I love my sister's name.
That is so cool. You guys are very unique, and again, your parents are awesome. You're awesome. Could you just adopt me or something? I don't know. Baka naman po, Mr. and Mrs. Hill. Okay. I'm being given the sign to get back to business. Okay. So Miss Tala, again, welcome to the show. Di ba, guy? But yeah, I want to talk about you and your music, of course. So, we said earlier, di ba, people started to know you from the nothing personal face of Tala, right? How have you grown from the release of your first single up to now?
That's a good question. Well, for context, I guess I released Nothing Personal like a few weeks after I turned 18.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm 22 now. So
Okay.
it's been a while.
Uh-huh.
How I've grown, I think, like as young people, when you start making music, or as a young artist, I was very much in tune with how I wanted to sound. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
had like all these ideas, like I want to be like this, I want to come off with this vibe, I want to have this, I
Yeah,
want to have this,
yeah.
and it worked then. And I think how I grew as an artist, I guess, started with the pandemic, because when you're home alone, you don't really have much options to like explore new things.
Uh-huh.
So my writing kind of just evolved into me and the guitar, or me and a piano.
Oh,
So yeah, it
cool.
just became more honest, I guess that's the word, more raw.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So parang before when you started off, I guess just like any teenager, we were so focused on our image back then, focused on the wrong stuff, maybe. Not exactly wrong, but not the most important stuff
It's
to
just
focus
different.
on.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
different
yeah,
ways
yeah.
different
But I
approach.
love that you mentioned now that during the pandemic, you were sort of cornered into focusing on your sound, your music, and all that.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Had no
That's
choice
awesome.
but to stand
Kind of
by
no
myself.
choice when you think about it, no choice. But then again, it was a good thing that happened. That's sort of the plus side of what happened during the pandemic for you.
I
at
agree.
least. There you go. Oh, okay. Well, then let's talk about your latest EP. Is it true that it took you more than a year to actually complete it? Like, could you tell us what it was like writing the songs for an EP in the time of, again, the pandemic, right? Because I know that different artists have struggled during these times. Yet here you are being able to produce your own EP.
Yes, well, something that actually makes me feel really good is the fact that I know that artists struggling during the pandemic is like basically a universal experience.
Yeah.
So I feel so much comfort in knowing that other artists I look up to have probably felt that kind of hindrance when you're working and trying to get into a routine that you're not really used to yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it did take me over a year. I hate deadlines. That's one thing
Aw.
about me. Like I hate deadlines, especially when it comes to like my music or art or anything I'm creating.
Because we don't rush art.
Exactly, and I know that sounds so cheesy, but for me, it's like
But it's
I
true.
want to, yeah. I want to create because I like creating, and I don't want to create because I have to. So it took me a long time, but yeah, I think I got how to explain it. I think it's just like I didn't really think I wanted these songs to be in an EP until maybe like the last 2 months before release. That's when I realized like, okay, these songs actually mesh well together, because a lot of them were written like months, almost years before I even decided to put it in the collective mixtape. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun, just a lot of creating without expectations, and then it just turns into what it is.
It turned into this beautiful thing called your EP.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing with us that you did also struggle like a normal human being that you are. Kala ko talaga kami lang talaga mga, little people of the world, mga non-talented like you are the ones who struggle. But apparently, beautiful, talented people like yourself struggle as well. Guys, there you go. Fun fact for the day:
That's so
artists
Are actually
also
human.
they
Big surprise.
are, and they also struggle. But yeah, again, I know it was very difficult for a lot of us during the pandemic, but we're glad that you made something out of the situation and all that. So yeah, props. Earlier was props to your parents. Now it's props to you. But no, it got me thinking. Tuli, you mentioned something that made me want to think of the first question earlier. It's about the artists that you look up to. Sabi mo kasi na even the artists you look up to, they've also been struggling. Not that we want them to struggle, but it's just comforting to know that
Yes.
they're also human, right? But it got me thinking, like, who are your actual musical inspirations? When you started, you mentioned before you were 18 years old, you started to think of your image and all that. Who were you thinking of back then? If you don't mind
That's a good
us sharing.
question. No, that's a great question. I think I tend to find inspiration from everywhere, and that's something that my friends have taught me over the years. Like, you don't have to like an artist, or like you don't have to be a fan of music but you can still learn from them despite that. So I think that's like a really positive way to look at the world and to kind of just get inspiration for yourself. I think when I was 18, I was listening to a lot of R&B and like pop music,
Oh, gotcha.
which I still love. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
love it. But in the pandemic, and I noticed that the inspirations I got during the pandemic kind of mimic what I had when I was like a kid. So I really like songwriters like Phoebe Bridgers, Lizzie McAlpine, Nora Jones. I loved her
Yeah, of
voice as a
course.
kid because she kind of gave me hope that you could be a good singer without being able, like, without having to belt.
Exactly, exactly. Guys, may
as a
pag-asa
kid-
tayo, guys.
No, for real, like real though. Like I used to, as a kid, I used to feel so insecure because I wanted to sing and I loved music, but I could never like, the voice, all
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I can't. But
And
hearing
and for the Filipino
songwriters-
audience, sorry to cut you, sorry.
Exactly.
And for the
No, go
Filipino
ahead.
audience pa naman, di ba, like, we're so used to being attracted immediately to the artists who could really belt the high notes, right? So
Yes.
it's very refreshing, again, for people who couldn't really reach those said notes to see a lot more artists who are, I don't want to say
Yes.
hanggang dito lang, hindi eh. It's not that eh.
No,
But
it's just a different style, but it's
Exactly,
good to see
yeah,
the
yeah,
different
yeah.
styles. Like I love
perfect
listening
example
to
you
people
mentioned was
belt.
Nora Jones. Sorry?
Yes, as a kid, she was really my favorite. No, I was just gonna say like those who belt and sing very loud and very good are really really amazing in their own league, and I think that's what makes music fun. Is you can, like, now given the digital age and everything, you can 90% of the time find someone like that kind of reminds you of yourself. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's how I look at inspiration.
Awesome. So guys, there you go. Like I mentioned earlier, may pag-asa pa tayo, mga hanggang dito lang yung sa staff ng music. Anyway, now could you tell us, or could you share to us and your fans the creative process that you went through during the pandemic, especially, like, again, I'm sure it was pretty different pre-pandemic and how it was during the pandemic before you were able to release this EP. So, like, could you walk us through that?
Well, for my first releases, what I would do was I would usually just collaborate with producers, and the producers would either I would send them a vibe, and then they would hit me back with a beat that they thought matched it, and then I would write over it. And until now, I still do that sometimes. But then during the pandemic, again, like I mentioned, I had no option to actually go out and meet producers or to sit in a studio, and I was actually just kind of able to sit by myself and go back to my roots from when I started doing music. So like playing the piano and playing the guitar, stuff like that. And then that kind of helped me not really change my style, but find a different approach. So stuff like that. I think that's what helped me in the pandemic. And again, so blessed. I'm very thankful that I have like the option to meet with people online.
Yeah,
Yes, like send to producers, like without having to see each other because of safety reasons, and we're still able to come up with new things. And also, like, my dad is a producer, so he's
Oh, cool.
produced my first few releases. He produced Nothing Personal. He produced a lot. I think I'm dreaming. Like, so, to have an amazing producer like downstairs in my house, that
Easily
definitely helps as
accessible.
well. Exactly. So it works. I think I feel very, very privileged, and I'm very thankful to be surrounded by people who like to do music with me and who know how to. So that's how I was able to survive with my process during the pandemic.
Do you and your dad fight a lot with regards to producing your music?
We used to. Oh my god, my first few releases. Because, like, I mean, honestly, like, if I could go back in time, I would be like, listen to your dad, because obviously he
Oh,
knows
okay.
better. He knows
Okay.
better. And I think when you're a teenager, like an 18-year-old girl, you think like,
Dad.
yeah, and I think artists in general are very protective over the stuff they create. I'm still learning how to not be so sensitive even today.
I could imagine. I could imagine.
It's a process, right? Because it's like your baby, and then someone says something about it, and you're like, exactly. So yeah, it's a learning process.
Plus, it's your dad pa, so you could whine a lot more. Like, I'm sure if that were a completely different producer, you'd be more patient about it. You'd be
Yes.
more, parang, are you really sure that's what we want to do? Parang kung dad mo
Yeah,
yun.
but with
Oh,
my
I could
dad-
just imagine.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm frozen on TV or not.
I think you are.
I think I am. That was such a funny freeze. But yeah, at least you could still hear me so well. Our
Yes.
technical team will fix that, whatchamacallit, issue. We'll just do things with your beautiful face on screen right now. So thank you again for sharing to us the process, your experiences with your dad also and all that. So thank you for sharing that. But right now, we are going to check out that said EP, that new single that we've been teasing our viewers right now. So without further ado, let us check out the performance of Tala with her "Call Me When You Wake Up."
She's been on your mind too long. I see the way you look at her whenever the sun goes down. Boy, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong, but you always take your steps too long when she comes around. You'd rather be alone than feel so lonely. You don't wanna be without a maybe, but what you're feeling you don't believe in love. I would never do this, boy, you know me. I don't wanna be without a body, but I know what I'm feeling, and it isn't love. Maybe just for an hour I could replace her. Nobody's watching, we could go away, and you could be mine. Boy, don't try to fake your pride, 'cause it takes one to know what and I've been where you're at. Just know that you can take your time to decide, 'cause I've got two gold hands and a safer space in my bed. You'd rather be alone than feel so lonely. You don't wanna be without a maybe, but what you're feeling you don't believe in love. I would never do this, boy, you know me. I don't wanna be without a body, but I know what I'm feeling, and it isn't love. Maybe just for an hour I could replace her. Nobody's watching, we could go away, and you could be mine. Maybe just for a minute you could replace him. I'll keep my eyes closed, all I feel is skin on skin. And if we're wasting time, tonight, reading your mind, you're by my side. I know that you don't wanna go home. I don't really wanna feel alone. Put your lips on my vein, move your hips a little bit closer, build me up so easily, break me down like therapy, tear me to pieces, I'll keep you around, touch me with your love and catch and release me until I am found. I let you build me up so easily. Now you can break me down like therapy.
What is good? Okay, narinig ba ako kanina? Hindi. Okay, so I was on mute earlier. Not my fault, guys. Hi, are you on? I think you're on mute. Nobody did that to me. Nobody went, Shy, I think you're on mute. Nobody did that, so I wouldn't know. But anyway, I'm not in control of the controls. You know, it's not
It's
so
okay,
obvious.
Queen. Don't worry about it.
It's not so obvious here on camera, but I'm actually really turning so red. Oh, we're live on Facebook and that happened. Anyway.
Fine, Queen. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, I was saying earlier whilst I was on mute, sabi ko na, I'm gonna add that song to my playlist of chill songs for driving, for the beach, and for also going, before bed or something, because it's such a chill, feel-good song. That was awesome,
Thank
Tala.
you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you to your dad also, I guess. Tama ba?
Well, not this one, but you know.
Oh, gotcha. Well, but yeah, it was a really pretty song. So tama, this one was Call Me in the Morning.
No, this is called Sandcastles. No, Call Me When You Wake Up is the name of my EP. Sandcastles is the name of the
Sandcastle. Call Me in the Morning
Yes.
is the full EP.
Call Me When You Wake Up.
Call me when what? Shy. Focus. I'm really gonna explain things to you right now. I had an allergic reaction to a thing last night, so I had to take some pills. So there's something playing in my mind right now. But
Do not worry about it. It's really fine. I hate allergic reactions. They're the worst.
embarrassing.
I get so down, so don't worry about it.
I'm gonna get a message from my boss for this Facebook Live. But anyway, thank you for being so
fine.
cool about it.
Guys, boss, don't message her. It's all good.
Thank you so much, Tala. Thank you. Okay, to be clear, Call Me When You Wake Up is the EP. It's got
Yes.
7 tracks, right?
Is it? I honestly don't even know.
Okay, so whatever the number of tracks are, ganito na lang. Here's my question.
I think it's
You
five.
meant
I don't
you.
know.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So you mentioned earlier that the music that you make, it's like your baby, right? Just like how we ask some parents, do you have a favorite child? Do you have a favorite song? You know what? I've interviewed so many artists who are parents, and point blank, they would say, "Yeah, I do." I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but yeah, I do. They would say that, and like, you know what? I totally agree. Based on my experience with my parents, like, we could really tell who
You know
was the
what?
favorite child.
Ignorance is bliss. I would rather not be aware.
But that's for being a child of your parents, right? But for songs, well, I think it's safe to say that you have a favorite.
I do.
Yeah, okay. Could you share
Or
to
I
us?
Of course, I have biases, if that makes sense. Like,
Awesome. I get that.
obviously, Nothing Personal is my debut, so it's always going to be one of my babies, like something that I will hold close to my heart because it's the first song that I put out into the world as myself. And then I really like a song I released in October last year called Nevermind, which is like one of my most emo, emotional
Yeah.
songs that I put out, like where I literally like just put my heart out and was like, okay, this is how I feel now, consume it. So I'm proud of myself for allowing that to be released because like in a few years ago I wouldn't have ever been that open with how I feel. So it's like more of like a personal milestone of mine. And then Sandcastles, one I just played, the one that I just watched, because it's just so fun to sing, and I noticed that a lot of people who listen to my music like that song a lot. So
Yeah, it's a very catchy, it's a very pretty song to listen to as well. So
Thank you.
thank you for sharing to us
course.
your music,
course.
and many more to come soon.
Yes,
Hoping for many more to come. And actually, we would really love for you to perform it here in our physical, actual stage.
That would
But
be
until
so
that
fun.
happens, we are very glad that you were able to share it to us here virtually on
Yes.
Zoom. Thank you again. All right. Well, before we continue, we would like for you to please invite your fans, our viewers right now, to check out your EP, check you out on social media as well. So if you don't mind doing that for us.
Okay. Hi to everybody watching Easy Rock right now. My name is Tala. I am a singer and songwriter, and you can, if you liked my performance, you can check out my discography. I just go by Tala on all streaming platforms. But if you want to say hi to me on my Instagram, I'm at tala.hill. So yeah, shoot me a message. You can talk about my music and stuff.
Awesome. So there you go. Again, it's tala.hill on socials. And of course, before I give my socials out, I'd like to invite you all again to please check out your favorite Easy Rock programs online by downloading the app. It's on the Apple Store and Google Play. It's just Easy Rock PH. It's free for you to download. And also, that's also where you could listen to your favorite DJs live on air as well, even if you don't have a radio set with you. So you could do that by listening to our app. Again, it's Easy Rock PH. And aside from that, don't forget that the MSFF submission of entries is up to May 20, 2022. For more details, follow MBC Short Film Festival. Tala, thank you so much for being so awesome and for being so patient
Thank
with
you
all
for
the things
having me.
happening today. You're
Don't worry
great.
about it.
Thank you. And thank you for telling my boss not to send me a memo or give me a call. But that's it for now, guys. Once again, this has been Easy Rock Plugged In with our guest for today, Tala. We'll see you again soon. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Tala. Mwah.